Oh, she's looking pretty today. Hello everybody, what's up, what's going on? By the way, I'm Emily May and today I'm telling you why you should shop and not adopt when getting a dog. Of course, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It is always best to adopt if you can. But I just want to say, like, maybe stop saying it to people. Every time somebody posts a picture of their new puppy and say like, oh, we bought a new puppy last week or something, or at least from what I've seen online, people seem to be saying, oh, that's really cute, but adopt, don't shop. And I think a lot of people try, but I think also a lot of people who are commenting these things don't actually realize how many issues there are with adopting a dog and how many rules and regulations that are in place which actually stops people from adopting a dog. So you might have seen in one of my recent videos that we got a new puppy called Gomez, and I just want to say that we did buy him. Yep, and I told you in that video that I would be releasing another one to talk about why we didn't adopt in the end, because we did try, but it didn't happen. And we'd been trying to adopt a dog for so many months, like I think it was about like 3, 4, 5 months at that point. We'd been looking since like spring, early summertime to adopt a dog, and it just didn't happen. We just could not adopt a dog in the end. We looked at so many different charities, and unfortunately the charities in the United Kingdom at the moment, you're only allowed to adopt a dog from your local area. So for example, if we were to adopt a dog from the RSPCA, we would only be able to get it within, I think it's like a 30 or 40 mile radius, which is really not very far. Especially when we're so like specific about the type of dog that we are able to bring into our home. We needed to get a small breed, otherwise we wouldn't really have room to fairly accommodate a big dog. Of course, all dogs deserve a loving home, but our family, we needed a small one because we weren't comfortable bringing in a dog that wouldn't have enough space to run around during the day, and also one that wouldn't fit with how much our family exercise anyway. We couldn't get a dog that needs to go out to the park and like run around for like an hour or two a day, because it just doesn't fit with our lifestyle. A dog that needs like 1 or 2 short 20-30 minute walks is definitely what is best for us, and that's why we ended up getting a Chihuahua. Essentially, it would be cruel to get a dog that doesn't have the space he needs or doesn't get out enough and exercise as much as he needs. And we looked at all these charities that are currently only allowing dogs to come out to the local region. So we looked at Dogs Trust, we looked at the RSPCA, and obviously some of these charities will match you with a dog once you sign up to them. However, we looked at the dogs that they do have to see which ones we might end up being matched with, and none of them were suitable for us. They were either too old. Obviously, like I said in my last video, it's not that old dogs don't deserve a loving home. I personally would be fine with having an old dog. It's the fact that my family are wanting a family pet, and so they want to raise one from when it's kind of young. So they were looking for a dog that's like less than 5 years old, preferably around 2 years old. Because also when my sister goes off to university, if she does, and if I ever manage to leave the house, my parents are going to want somebody to keep them company, and so that's why they wanted a dog that's going to live for hopefully quite a while. So having kind of given up on the local charities, we thought, well, why don't we look at dogs overseas and see if there is like a dog that can be brought over for us that we can accept into our home. Surely there's like hundreds of dogs out there, you'd think. A couple of them were a little bit too expensive as to what my family were prepared to pay for the upfront cost of having a dog, and many of the dogs also came with medical conditions and such, so that ruled quite a few of them out. Other charities that we looked at, again, all of the dogs that they had there were just far too big, or like, I mean, I say far too big, we wouldn't even be prepared to get a medium-sized dog. We wanted a small breed, essentially. And we were looking through these websites for just weeks and weeks, and it was just, we were just getting nowhere with it. Then eventually we came across this website, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the charity, but essentially they bring dogs over from Hungary, and they bring them over like strays that they find on the streets, and also ones from people's homes who are neglecting them, and also dogs from kill shelters. Okay, I want you to bear that in mind. These dogs are kept in horrific conditions, and many of them will be killed or will simply just die on the streets. And on this website there was this perfect little dog. She was a tiny little Pekingese, she was 2 years old, and she was just perfect for us. She was amazing. There were pictures of her in cute little sweaters, and she was described as being a lap dog, so she was literally just exactly what we wanted. And we put an application for her the same day we saw her. We were just like, there's this dog. We said to my dad, we were like, there's this dog. She's in Hungary. She's like being a little stray. She's in a foster home at the minute. Can we have her? He was like, oh yeah, definitely put in an application like right now. So we did. We put in an application for her. And a couple weeks went by and we didn't hear anything. Now, I personally feel like luring you in with dogs that you have absolutely zero chance of ever adopting is a pretty shoddy thing to do. Because it said on their website, if you would like to adopt, insert dog's name here, but this dog, please fill out this form. I wouldn't be as mad about this situation if they had put something along the lines of, if you would like to adopt a dog like this dog, please fill out this form. Because that kind of says, oh, you might not be in with a chance of getting this dog, but there's plenty of others like this dog in case you want to have a look and adopt one of those, which would have been fine with us. But they didn't do that. It just said, would you like to adopt this dog? Now, as I said, the 2 weeks went by and we heard absolutely nothing. So my mum messages the owner who runs the Facebook page and everything. And she says to her, hey, we filled out an application form. Have you received it? We haven't got a confirmation that it's been received or anything. Can you tell us how long this process normally takes? We're like more than ready to adopt this dog. We've been waiting weeks to find a dog that we can bring into our home, and we're ready to, you know, adopt and love this dog. How's it going? And the woman replied, and she was really nice. She was like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'll have a look over it soon. It normally takes about 2 weeks for your application to be processed, and then, you know, we'll try and make sure that you can get the dog. But we will do a house check first, and then as long as that's done, it's all smooth sailing from there, essentially. Like, as long as you pass the house check, you can get your dog, basically. So we puppy-proofed the house in preparation for our little house check. We made sure that nothing on that list could be counteracted, that they would be like, oh my god, yes, your house is perfect. Obviously, like, the form that we filled out in the first place, we had to describe our lifestyle and such, and we did say in that we will be at home, there will be somebody at home with this dog literally 24/7 for just about forever. We put chicken wire up against the fence so that any, like, the small breed dog could not get out or anything. Like, we went all out to try and make sure that we were the perfect candidates for this dog. And so my mum was, like, still pestering this place because, like, another week went by and she was like, hey, we put in for this dog, have you checked our application yet? And there was basically nothing said. It was like basically just like, wait, you're in the queue, you know, we have a lot of applications to look through, be patient. And the dog that we had applied for was marked as reserved very sadly before, well, not very sadly because she found a loving home, but very sadly before we were able to have our house check done and everything. Which also kind of, I feel, is not very fair, because I think there should at least be a cutoff point for applications for the particular dog. But also, these dogs are not just being, like, handed out as and when. They have to come over once a month from Hungary. So this dog would have been coming over at the same time regardless. Finding somebody to love her, finding her a family, that should not be done faster just because, you know? There is no reason, because she's not going to get here any sooner. And we were absolutely devastated that this little dog had been reserved. So we just thought, okay, maybe we were just really late in applying. Let's wait and see if there's another cute little dog that comes along. So my mum messages this place again and she's like, hey, we're really upset that we weren't, like, even considered for it. You know, is our application still being processed? What do we do now? Can we look for another dog? Do we have to submit another application and everything? And basically they said to us is, you fill out an application. And also a lot of people reiterated this on the Facebook page as well, like the forum of it. And they said, basically what you do is you fill out the form, you get your application checked and approved, you get your house approved through like a home visit or a video call, and then you apply for which dog you want. So they lure you in with all these cute dogs that you have zero chance of getting, which... it's sad because you kind of get your heart set on one. And it feels to me like as long as you've passed your checks and everything, they'll just send you the dog you want. It doesn't feel to me as though they try and make sure that the house that they're sending the dog to is the perfect one for that dog, if that makes any sense. Like, maybe that's just us being biased, but I know that a lot of other people in the community had the same issue. They were like, you're just allocating these dogs. They're not going to get here any faster. Why don't you look through everybody who's applied for them, put a cut-off date, look through everybody who's applied for this dog, and then say, yeah, you fit best with this dog and this dog's personality and everything. It can go with you. Obviously, some dogs aren't allowed to be around children. My sister's here. Obviously, some dogs prefer to have like a more sedentary lifestyle, and that's what we are able to give our dog. We're not like a family who wants a dog that we're going to take out hiking and such. So yeah, part of that just doesn't sit very well with me. But they went even further to not sit well with me. So a couple of days later, our application was approved and we were super happy. And somebody from our local area who does the video calls, obviously because of COVID, he can't come and give actual house checks, scheduled a house check with us for the following day. And the same day, that same night, before we'd had the house check done, this woman basically sent us a picture of this little dog. She sent us lots of pictures of this little dog. She messaged my mum and she was like, hey, there's this little dog. He's super cute. He's just what you're looking for. He's another small breed. I think he was a Pekingese mix, but I'm not entirely sure. He was an adorable, really scruffy little thing. She said he is 5 years old, but he's super lovely and I think you would love him. So we had a little chat and we were like, it seemed to us like she was offering us this dog, right? Because she'd said like, what do you think of him? Are you interested in adopting him? So we had a little chat. And we were like, okay, it seems like we're probably going to get approved because no matter what our house is like, I'm sure she's going to be like, oh yeah, that will be fine. You know, we've got an enclosed garden. We've puppy-proofed the house. It felt like she was basically saying to us, like, this dog is yours if you want him. What do you think before I post him on Facebook? Do you want to sort of have first dibs since he's the kind of thing that you're looking for? And we're thinking, oh, okay, because we didn't get the dog that we wanted in the first place. This charity is really taking. So we sat down, we had a little look at him together and we were like, oh yeah, okay, he's perfect. He's exactly what we want. We didn't love him quite as much as we loved the first dog, but he was adorable and we would have been very happy to have him in our house and to welcome him in as a member of our family. So my mum messages back this woman. She's like, oh yeah, that's absolutely perfect. He looks fantastic. We love him. We would definitely be happy to adopt him. 20 minutes later, 20 minutes, this woman posts his profile to be adopted on the Facebook page. We're like, what are you doing? We just said we want him. That is our dog and you're just giving him to other people. You're putting him out there so other people can say that they want our dog. Pretty damn unfair if you ask me. Hello there, I am in the bathroom. I just wanted to drop in here real quick and just say that I'm lying to you in this section, okay? Our fence is actually 5 foot and the charity wanted it to be 6 foot. So every time I say 4 foot, I mean 5 foot. And every time I say 5 foot, I mean 6 foot. It doesn't really make much difference, but honestly, like, I just don't want to be lying about a charity here on the internet, like, in case they sue me. So that's all I have to say. So we were pretty mad about that, but we thought maybe it's just in case, you know, we give backward or another cute little dog comes up that we would prefer. And anyways, the next day was our house check and my mom took the guy around the entire house. She showed him the garden and everything and he was like, I don't think your fence is tall enough. He said it needs to be at least like 5 foot. So after the home check, the guy messaged us. We basically just took a video and showed him. So he messaged us and he was like, hey, everything looks great except for your fence. Your fence looks to be about 3 foot tall and that's just not tall enough. So my mum went out with a tape measure. She measured the fence and took a picture of it as evidence to send to this guy. She was like, our fence is 4 foot, okay? Our fence is more than tall enough to keep a small breed in, okay? No tiny little dog is gonna get out of here. And he said, no, your fence has to be 5 foot. He said, like, no matter what dog you're adopting, which is really stupid to me, no matter what size dog you're hoping to adopt, like whether it's a big dog that could get out over a 4 foot fence, or a tiny little dog that can't even get over a 2 foot fence. He said, your fence has to be 5 foot. Even for it to act as like a visual deterrent so your dog doesn't even try to get out. So stupid. So my mum said, like, we're only looking for a small breed, can you not make an exception because no tiny dog is going to get out of there? And he said, no, we have to draw the line, there are regulations. This part was really upsetting for us, like we were devastated, and it just really saddens me that they're willing to, and no shame to anybody who has a dog or has adopted a dog and works, obviously people need to work, but the fact that they can give a dog to a family who, you know, it'll spend like 4 hours a day by itself, whereas in our house it can have somebody with him at all times, watching it, making sure it's, you know, not trying to get out, making sure it's okay, making sure it's not lonely, making sure it feels loved. They don't even consider that as a factor. What they consider as a factor is, you know, how a 9-inch tall dog can somehow miraculously get out over a 4-foot fence. And that's basically why adopt don't shop is not a nice thing to say to people, because believe me, people who buy dogs genuinely try to adopt. They do their best, but sometimes them wanting the best for a dog doesn't always help. You know, people can have their hearts in the right place. They can love animals, they can love dogs and want to adopt a dog in order to give it a better life. But sometimes the charities who seem to say like, oh, these dogs need to have good homes and everything, which is fine if it's already come from a house, if the dog has already, you know, maybe its previous owners abandoned it or something, that would make sense, you know, to have these kind of restrictions on a house. But when dogs are literally coming from being strays and from kill shelters, and you're trying to put these kind of restrictions on, oh, your fence is too short, it's a foot too short, so your tiny little dog might want to try and get out. Sometimes it's the charities that just don't have their hearts in the right place. And seeing people say adopt don't shop to literally everybody who buys a dog, thankfully we haven't had it said to us, but we don't really publicly share much about the dog. The only way that we really share about where we got it from and everything is through my channel here when I spoke about it last week. It is really sad because it makes you feel like you're a bad person for not adopting a dog. And believe you me, more people try to adopt a dog than meets the eye, but have to end up buying because they want a dog, but unfortunately they just can't get one. And it wasn't just this charity. We did think, okay, maybe let's have a little look at some other charities, but all of them had the same kind of regulations, like your fence has to be this high, and that is the cutoff point. And unfortunately, we just didn't meet those kind of requirements. It was ridiculous, to be honest with you. Now, feel free to rant in the comments about how shitty those restrictions are, especially when you consider that us adopting a dog would directly correlate to a space opening up in a foster home at the charity in order to take in a dog from a kill shelter. So some poor little dog has died because our fence is a foot too short. If that doesn't make you sad, I don't know what will. It really saddens me to think that the charities don't even think like that. They don't even think like, oh, okay, well, you know, they really want a small dog. Their fence is a little bit too short, but we trust them. Somebody's going to be at home to watch this dog 24/7 to try and, you know, that will in itself probably deter the dog from trying to escape by building a relationship with it. I mean, our dog doesn't even go out in the garden without his extension leash on. If he wants to run around, we run around with him. It just makes me sad that a dog has literally died because our fence is too short. And this is why you shouldn't say to people adopt don't shop, because people try and they try and save these dogs and they try and give these dogs a happy life, and a lot of the time it just doesn't work out like that. Leave a like on this video if you agree that that is a really shitty thing of a charity to do. Also, if you disagree and you dislike this video, I want to know why. If you think that, you know, adopt don't shop should still be said to people, and as a general reminder, it's okay. People say these things thinking that they mean best for the dog, or just dogs in general, you know, adopt don't shop, but they don't. Even dog charities themselves don't necessarily do what's best for the dog. Like I said, a dog has probably died because our fence was a foot too short. You tell me how that's putting the dog first. Anyway, subscribe if you want to see more of me, because look how pretty I am today. I'm sorry. So Subscribe if you want to come back for more of me. If you like true crime videos, I post those every week, and we just be chilling in my other videos. So I will love you and leave you. Take care. See you later. Bye bye.